Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of Tenno Clock. I am your regular host, Xeno G Lion, and this is your regular Warframe VTuber, Murder Dr. Loz. How many doctors have you murdered this time?
None. Only one, myself.
Right, okay. So, yep, episode 386 of 10 o'clock, getting closer and closer to the big 400.
We're not planning anything special at all. Don't get your hopes up.
Well, I mean...
COVID. Our excuse.
Yeah. Right, okay, cool. So, moving on, going straight into it. Emblems.
Yeah.
Hit the button. Right. I'm going to say mine.
Ooh.
I'm going to say mine.
What is that?
What, mine?
Yeah.
The Spartan helmet. It's the Spartan helmet.
With what on top?
The big fan thing for a Spartan helmet?
Nah. Like a feather duster.
Yeah. Oh my god, give me a break.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they pretty much had on a Spartan helmet.
Yeah, that's that top bit which gets me.
300?
Yeah, but they weren't like that. That top bit's what gets me. It looks like it's also got like jewelry over it. I think it's better. I'll give you it for yours.
No,
just
it's
on
like, it's like scars and stuff, cracks and things.
Yeah, no, I'll go across the eye, but like, what's the draping up to? There's like draping up the head, like jewelry's been draped on top of it.
No, it's like it's just shaping and plating and stuff.
I'll give you. I will just give it to yours on the concept, but because mine's a bit lacking. However, I would say mine is of better quality because, like, the red to the white tinge of the edge of yours is bitty and horrible.
No, it's
mine. I had to check with you if that was actually. No, I can see it in the image. Are you kidding me? No.
If I showed you the full-sized image, you'd be like, "Yeah, no, that's quality, man. That's quality, mate. If you want, I can get it for you right now."
No, because you can look at this. They're both the same size,
yeah,
right?
I'm getting it. No,
I'll give it to you. No, we need to move on. It can be fair, and I'll give it to you, but I still think it's bitty and horrible.
What yours is?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's so good. I thought it's so, like, the textures and the edges of it, so good. I thought it was a Warframe one at one point. So, I don't know. It's weird, though. The concept is I don't get what it's trying to mean, whereas yours I can at least get what it means. That's why I will give it to yours. But I'm still saying yours is horrific.
Wi-Fi tripod thing on an eye.
Yeah. Is that popping up?
I don't know. What is popping up?
Here you go.
Right. So, moving on to Dojo Dusting, which I have to take the time for. 303. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Right, okay, cool. Moving on. Dojo Dusting. So this week we have our platinum winners of Zrugal for PC, Big Beard Bear 93 for PlayStation, Assassin 5522 for Xbox, and Ikishiru for Nintendo Switch. I think it's Ikishiru.
Cool.
Yeah. So those have already been submitted off to DE. So,
cool.
You know, turn off the emblems. Yeah, and you'll have a chance of... Yeah, God, you don't have a chance. You have one.
Your brain skipped a beep.
Yeah, I did. I really did. And probably because I didn't actually say if you want to win 75.
Yes, I was about to ask. So, Xeno, if people at home right now, or listening at home right now would like to win that platinum that some people have just won, how do they go about doing it?
So go into the description below where you'll find a link to this week's polls. What weapon are you using? I don't recognize the gun at all. What the hell is that?
That's a Velocity.
Oh, the thing that's a projectile-based sniper for Arkwings. Got it.
Yeah, I don't think... I randomized it and obviously I equipped that and I don't think it's got any mods in it. But it's weird because if you watch the footage, I get more damage out of it by just tapping shooting and we're supposed to charge it. And when I do the charge shot, it does nothing. I assume there's no mods in it. I think I just swapped to just using the Zephyr, which actually I was... First time I've actually... So obviously, I think you'll say later, but this is my first time playing Zephyr since the changes. And I love the hover.
But... Yeah, so you've all won 75 platinum. If you want to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, go in the description below where you'll find the link to the forms for this week's questions. And you'll see this week's emblems. Just fill in the form and you'll automatically be entered in for 75 platinum, which will come out in about 2 weeks' time. Job done. Oh, please make sure you get your name right. If the name's wrong, no one wins the prize.
Yes. If you double check it, just double check. Make sure you put your in-game alias for Warframe.
Console, you got a pretty good chance of getting it.
Yeah. Now that you've corrected the one mistake you had with Switch.
Oh my god, the freaking that. See, this is why you don't automate things. Got to do it by hand. Right. So, right. So this footage, Loz is implementing the build of a Zephyr by Birdframe Prime from episode 384.
Yes. So I've started doing that. There's loads to do in the list. Populate it. I think there's a description in the link below if people want to submit builds.
It's part of the polls.
Part of the polls. Okay. Well, if you want to submit them, it's all in one place. There you go. But it's in that link. Yeah, it's going to help me relearn Warframe because I feel mods have really gotten away from me. And yeah, I think this build I'm missing one mod. The augment. I don't have Zephyr's augment. But I've tried it, and I will probably maybe come back to it when I have that augment. But it's really cool, so I'm going to be working on other builds. I think people can only submit one build per submission, isn't it?
No, 3.
3, okay. So you can submit, like, because obviously you need, like, Necromech, there's Arc Gun, there's weapons, so you can submit 3, so that's probably enough for a Warframe and some weapons. You might think, like, but I want to do a whole build! But that does allow me to, like, chop and change many people together, because this one I've just done the one build, but I will probably try and do several in a video next time. So just a variety.
The only thing to say is you have to submit your build from overframe.gg. Right, so that's the website. If, however, there are other build websites that you want to have added to the data validation, send them to us. You could send them to me directly on Discord. There's a link to my Discord server. Or you can send it to me on Twitter, and I can add those URLs in to whitelist them. But right now, it's just limited to that one only because, I don't know, I just put in Warframe builds in Google, and that was the top result.
That is a good website. I was able to use it very well. Very good, very good. Right, what's next?
Cool. So that's it for Dojo Dusting. Now we have the War Report.
Hey!
I've got anything.
I think I've just got that Call of Tempestrati will be coming soon again. I'm sorry, I checked Warframe's website for news. I tried to see if there's anything up there.
Did they send me anything this week?
Every week
they send me a update.
I have heard of that there was some sort of interview recently, because I'm starting to keep track of the Warframe YouTubers' videos again, because I'm going to do analysis of them soon. But there was some talk of, like, an interview they'd done. EE.
Really?
Recently. Well, yeah, I saw a Life of Rio video about it. He was making points.
So
anyone knows, let me know.
The Tempestari update is coming, along with the Warframe Xbox Series X build.
Oh, nice.
Coming later this month.
Cool.
And there was a tweet recap from Rebecca about crewman emotes. So I'm not 100% sure.
Crewman emotes?
You can buy I think you can buy emotes for your crewman from the different syndicates.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
So I think potentially they applied. So a fun little side note: the team saw the players are loving the Railjack crewman personalities, and now you'll be able to learn your favorites in the future. Syndicates will let you earn their emotes. Check it out, dev build FYI. So basically, you can use these emotes on your Warframes. That was it.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
That's cool. Nice to see they're expanding it and not just leaving it as like we put things in so that the missions can run. End of. It's nice to see they are. I feel that on this one they are committing to Railjack and all of its sections. Like my example I gave earlier with the Spectres. They added Spectres in. The community loved them. We're like, oh, but I'm really sad that when I get to a mission, I have to leave them there. There's no way for me to like save them. They're like Pokemon. I'd like to do more with them. And you were like, oh yeah, we'll look into it. And then nothing happened. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
I mean, that was when they changed rescue. I'm talking probably 6 years ago at this point. I can't remember how long. But they did like they were like everyone was interested in it, and like there was talk about people were discussing, hey, couldn't we maybe they have a little experience bar and we can make them stronger, and if they make it through a mission, and we can pick them back up again in the mission and back into a ball, because you chucked a ball back then, bring them out. I think you still do, but whatever, And they just no, nothing ever came of it. They just moved on to the next thing.
Well, I think part of the problem was dark sectors, like the way dark sectors got used and abused. It put off a large proportion of the player base. So this was a problem caused by the players. It negatively impacted the player experience, and as a result, players stopped doing anything towards dark sectors, including getting
Spectres to do mass. Yeah, I also think nothing. I think it's more also that it's probably like too much on the plate and it just fell off and got forgotten about. It's probably more likely also what happened because I got so much to do. Busy people.
Cool. Right, so that's it for
War Report at the moment. Hopefully more to come soon. Yeah.
And let's jump straight into the topics. Cool. So our topics for this week. Number 1, what dark sector in Warframe was and what it could/should be in the future. And 2, would anyone else dig a survival horror spin-off that puts us in the shoes of a Corpus crewman? Holy shit. I want to get to that topic.
Again, I think that's going to be a really interesting topic. I really like the one we had about crewmen last week. I think it's a good idea with more things. But yeah, should we move on though to topic 1?
Yep, right. Cool. Topic 1.
Begin.
Good to start. Right.
Yep.
The original topic says, around Warframe 14, I assume that's update 14, dark sectors were clan versus clan content. It was alliance versus alliance. Took place kind of a clan v clan conclave.
I'm going to step in. Sorry to say, alliance has never happened apart from abuse. But sad, isn't it? Yeah.
Around update 16, it became PvEVP, where clans versus alliances used specters to fight for control and resources. Okay, I got that wrong. Wait, no. Oh, yeah, no. There were 2 forms of dark sectors, weren't there?
There was, yeah.
Yeah, right. Now, they're stranded nodes with increased reward. Standard nodes with increased rewards or damage of one type or another. We could use the railjacks as means to travel to unknown sectors. Players can choose the path they take to new sectors while traversing in chains of missions where they can choose to an option of missions they can do to progress. That was one long, laborious sentence. Moving from topic to topic. Sorry. Each sector traveled can improve difficulty and rewards. If possible, this could be something that resets on a weekly basis and could be an endless type of content.
Yeah.
I feel there should be more to this.
Yeah, no, yeah.
This. Oh yeah, right. Okay. I wanna. What dark sectors could be in Warframe? Hold on, let me zoom in because my blind.
Oh, you're having a topic, eh?
Yeah.
I'd
like to leave this a bit open-ended, but judging from the past, I feel sticking to make a content title. Making a content titled Dark Sector to be more PvE focused. Apparently, with how much the game has evolved, there are things that can be done to make this a new experience. One I feel in particular is one possibility. We could use our railjacks as a means to travel. Yeah, okay. So the rest of the statement was exactly the same, but like it just felt so open-ended. It felt weird that it wasn't addressed as, yeah, this is open-ended.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of PvPvE. Yeah? Or PvEVP. Or
PvEVP.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure isn't the acronym PvPvE?
I think you could make that there's probably a difference between the two ones.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a difference. If
I
there's
think,
like
well, I don't think there is, but I think
difference.
that, like, I think PvPvE would do for, because that's been the one established by Destiny and Gambit, where both teams are doing PvE, but at the same time can directly fight each other. PvEVP, I think, would be how, like, the dark sectors were working. Like, that's why the E's moved into the middle, because you would just do a mission against specters. There was just you never interacted with another player, so you're literally doing PvE, and that PvE content was versus other players at the environment level, not in the mission level. But
I'm not opposed to there being
no. I really think Warframe. That's one of the things Warframe needs. It's sad that Destiny got onto that thing with Gambit so quickly, and D just haven't looked into it, because that, instead of, maybe they have. I know they've been probably meetings and things, but the Conclave. I'm sorry. Doesn't work, does it? But the this game mode could work.
Like, we've played the whole Conclave side of things. We played quite a bit of it at one point.
Yeah, and
nowhere near as much as some of the legendary pro. I don't know if there are any legendary pros, but the legendary pros that are.
Oh yeah, there's. I'm pretty sure there's Discord groups like there was with Trials of people who probably still play specifically Conclave, and each week they have to get their like mini achievements done to make their Sandanas work for that week.
But the big thing is that there is such a seesaw difference of like with the PvE side of Warframe, it's just constantly scale up, right? Whereas with Conclave, it was very much no, you have to think tactically, right? You don't want to take something that has projectiles when I could take something that will always hit you.
There was a meta of weapons, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so I think that
there probably still is.
Yeah. I think there should be, but I think that that was a huge turnoff for a lot of people. There was lag issues. There's a whole gamut of reasons to why people weren't engaging with the Conclave. I think the best solution is, as proposed, PvEVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Right.
So what? Yeah.
The idea of chaining missions one after another, I think I kind of want to say I feel it's dangerous territory. Sorry. Took a drink and it went down the wrong way. I feel it can be a bit of dangerous territory because, just one more, Mom, just one more. Do you know what I mean? I mean, hell, we were streaming Valheim last night with Nazareth, and are you shrugging your arms?
Yeah, this is me in a perpetual shrug, being like, and I mean, just because it's chained doesn't. I mean, like a sortie is a chain of 3 missions.
No, but the sortie you can stop at any point.
Not if you don't. You have to finish. There's an end point
between them.
Yeah, but that's what this would be.
Yeah. But no, this is talking about endless content.
Yeah, but eventually, in theory, it would scale up to the point which is impossible. Well, that's what I'm thinking with this. Like, I like the idea. So basically, the way I view this, let me put this forward to you. So the way I'm refining this topic a bit. So I love this, that they're going back to the dark sectors, which was one of the original endgame concepts for the game. Let's bring it into Railjack. And that's great. We need to keep doing that. Railjack needs to keep gaining more things. And I've been to Railjack. In fact, most of the footage you'll be watching today is Railjack. But I do feel that they've added now missions to Railjack, but Railjack still feels very formulaic. Like, it's really weird. I haven't noticed any of the Corpus missions or any of the Corpus maps ever don't go into a spaceship. I mean, I know it's really cool. It's a new thing, but I would have liked if one node per planet, which I think I finished the first 2 planets now, don't. They just all, you've got to go do an exterminate. You've got to go do what was with the needles that come down and you need the necromech. What that one's called?
I know. Yeah, whatever.
Orphix. Yeah, Orphix. You gotta go after the Orphixes. You always have to do one of those missions. I love if there was just I haven't noticed. Maybe it is. I haven't spotted it yet. I will keep looking. But just if it would be really nice refreshment if like the 3rd Corpus mission, or be like, no, just this is just kill ships and cruise ships. Like, I know I'm tired of it on the Grineer side. There's nothing to say I wouldn't want it in the variety of the mix. You know, just because I'm bored of it before, you give me some new missions, give me that mission. So I'd like to see that added in. And that's why I think this would be cool. Because what you could do is that it'd be like you're going to get your railjack and you're going to explore out of the normal shipping routes. You're going to go into the dark sectors. Let me get the fingers right. Yeah, dark sectors. Almost. Yeah, little finger. Dark sectors, yeah. So, and how would you explore? How would you do that? Keeping the PvP. So it'd be still PvE missions, because I think that's how people want to do it. I don't think you can have the direct PvP in Warframe. Yeah. Having it against missions that are then people competing in their ability to finish those missions is the way to do it, like that one point with Dark Sectors. And what you can have it, like I was talking last week, FTL. Remember? Yeah. So you get on your railjack.
No, elaborate for a
So you get your railjack, and they're saying this is endless, and I think that's fine. We'll have it endless. In theory, you can keep going as far as possible, and it's a leaderboard at the end of the week. Now, at the moment, I'm not going to say rewards, and I think that's the way you should do it. You should release it with no rewards. It's literally for bragging rights initially, and you get your clan's emblem up there or whatever, and maybe a very limited reward. Let's say that they get like 5% bonus reward on that planet for being in that clan for a week. Let's say it like that. Let's keep it very small, see how people mess with it, and then they can do it. That's what they should have done with Steel Essence. But anyway, what was I going to say? So yeah, so you go into the dark sector of that region, and you get a node, and you can go do it, and the first mission's very easy, and then the second mission gets harder and harder and harder and harder. You could also put time limits on them as well, that you've got to do an objective within a certain amount of time. So sometimes it might be like, exterminate. In 3 minutes, you have to kill 300 mobs. You know, you go onto an Orokin ship, you got that. The next mission is you've got to do a capture mission in 1 minute, 30 seconds. You know, so the time limits would get shorter and shorter, and then the mobs will get harder and harder. So the goal would be that most people won't get past mission, let's say 7. And it could give you a score based on remaining points. Then the clan with the highest score, or there could be 2 leaderboards. I would have 2 leaderboards again. Don't just one. See, this is the problem. They always go, oh, let's put this game mode in. Just one leaderboard. It's like, no, but put one leaderboard that's like highest individual team score, and at the same time leaderboard for highest clan score or highest alliance score. Maybe that'd be 3, a third leaderboard. And because people really miss the old leaderboards. Leaderboards are cool. You know, the people like that challenge. And they used back in the day before Warframe had game modes, people used to just compete on the leaderboards for the week. People loved that. You know, it was fun. That's why events were fun back in the day, that people were competing to be the best, to get the trophies and things. And that's been lost because everyone gets a trophy now. So that's what I think it should be. A short set of missions, and they would be easier than saucy missions at first. So you'd only do maybe, I think, even the best guilds would probably get to 7, and these are just insane numbers. Do it in 1 minute. You have to kill 500 mobs. The mobs are level 500. I know some people might even choose that, but you know, the next mob will be like, do a spy mission in 1 minute, and you know, you physically can't. You know, it would get to that point, and allow it to get to that point. You physically just can't do this for that week. And then there'd be leaderboards to see who's progressed in that dark sector, and then the week they'd get, these are the winners this week. There we go. I think that's quite interesting. And it's PvEVP. There you go.
So I think you've come up with an excellent thing with the time-limited objectives.
Yes.
Right? I genuinely, like, I might sound, you know, but I'm deep in thought here. That honestly is excellent, I feel.
Yeah, right? Because the reason why I brought in the time limit thing especially is because I know that we get people with mad, cool, cheesy cheese builds that do billions of damage. But if you start doing a compression on like time, I know people can go really fast with Vault and whatever, but there's still a physical limit on that. Time is a good one. And also, because you're worried of one more game, whatever you were about saying about, and I think about Valheim playing to 3 in the morning, whatever we were doing, that would put a restriction on it, that in theory, there would only be a maximum, you know, eventually it would get quicker and quicker. Because you're going deeper and deeper into the dark sector, and your ship can only last so long or whatever, because, you know, affecting the hull and things, and the mobs are more gibbling monsters.
So one thing I would really like to see happen, have you played much of Hades?
No, I have it installed, actually. I did buy it. I haven't got around to playing it.
So, but you have played much of Dead Cells.
Yeah.
Right. So the big thing with Hades, and to a lesser extent Dead Cells, is you have a path in which you can choose, I will take path A, I will take path B. So yeah. So one thing I would like for this, for the dark sectors, is sort of like a progression tree.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Wait, so you'll always start at the same point in the dark sector.
Yeah.
And then you can choose, right, So you could either do a mobile defense, a capture, or a rescue.
Yes,
right.
And then so
these
some would be better scoring missions, but some might be better speed missions to get you further down.
And I also like the idea of, and I'm going to make reference to Torghast in World of Warcraft.
Yep.
The reference here is in Torghast, as you proceed through these procedurally generated floors,
Yep.
you get perks that make you more and more ridiculous, but you are fighting stupidly powerful enemies.
Yeah.
Right. So again, I would like it. So you could take a perk, again, much like in Hades. So I will take this mobile defense mission, and as a result, I get an additional 10%, 15% power strength. Or I could do this capture, and I could increase the duration of time-based missions by 30 seconds.
So I would also, by the way, I think the best way to do it is that each mission gives you a positive and a negative from then on. Like one mission might be like, so you get a positive of turrets will do 50% more damage. Railjack will take 5% health damage per minute.
I would, my preference would be that the negative is the enemies. The enemies get more and more ludicrous.
Okay, fine. And the time limit gets shorter and shorter, yeah?
Sure. Yeah. Unless well, you know what? Yes, I am going to agree with that. I was going to say, unless you get to, you pick up the perks of increase the timer. No perks for increasing the timer. Just going to say that.
Well, obviously, that's the thing. With it, I think this idea is quite nice, and that maybe they could play it, that some weeks there are time increase perks, and that's what keeps it refreshing. I know Torghast, there's some special weeks of different things, but they don't do enough of them. You just don't get it. You barely get to see them. But having variety on the weeks and things is quite interesting. I like the idea, and that's sorry. You're saying about the optional path, thing. That's what I meant.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't explain. That's what I meant by FTL. That when you've got a different path, where do you want to go?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Right. So I didn't realize that's what you were alluding to.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that would be an excellent starting place. I do feel though that Railjack needs at least all of the mission types.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. And more. I think more. I think now Railjack needs to come up with more things for you to do in space. Without going into I'd love to. Not that there'll be a lot of them, but I think it'd be cool. I know there's like shoot cruise ships, shoot fighters. Why isn't there repair? Why isn't there a repair satellite mission where your Arcwings have to go out and while the ship's flying around blowing up cruise ships and things, you're repairing a ship, not going into it and killing Grenier or whatever. You have to repair just like satellites or a grid or like a shield or something, of satellites that you have to activate, where you entirely just Arcwing and ship.
I like this idea, but there is a problem with this.
Well, everyone can. Yeah, I know. So, the problem is that everyone whinges and says, "Oh, but how does that relate back to my Warframe?"
I'm thinking of an established game thing right now. So the problem I'm seeing is with. I'd love to get the fire extinguisher to polyfill cracks in the satellites. Right. I don't want it just be stand next to the satellite and you'll fix it with your shields. Do you know what I mean? Like the hijack. I'd much rather get the polyfiller gun.
Yeah. Or a special Arcwing variant.
But the problem right now is that as soon as you interact with the polyfiller gun, not on Railjack,
it teleports
you back to the Railjack.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that needs to be addressed. But I am more for this. I'd also say, can we have something which is an acknowledgement of like a participation award, which is literally your clan emblem on a wall for a week, right? So that, you know how you go to the relays and you have those panels which show you all the names of the people, the founders. Have something similar, and maybe again in the relays, maybe on the big screen in Fortuna, whatever. And what it does is it just shows you your clan emblem amongst all the other clan emblems of the participation.
The way I was imagining this was a sort of a plinth. The winner, big one on top, second and third there is smaller, and then there'd be a ring around the bottom that just keeps looping all active emblems for that week.
100% on board for that.
So it's all visual. You don't have to go up and interact with it. It just has it. So you could sit there and go, oh, there we are. You know. I'm not, size is a variable thing, but there'll be that. It'd be visual. Be like, bam, these are the winners. Then you still have your participation in that. Because I think you're with me on this on some level, that we love to bring back clan emblems as a thing. They just don't get used.
Yeah. It's really hard to find clan emblems, and you know it's. Sorry, could you pause it 2 seconds? Cool. Right. Sorry. Clan emblems. No, seriously, the game needs to do more with clan emblems. I love the idea of, but I will say, the winning clans, they also need to have like a plinth or something for their dojo or their alliance or whatever, right? And
okay,
you know, something to say, hey, we did this, not because
I would have a clan decoration that you get that's colored based on if you get that week. So if you've ever had a gold, if you ever get top number 1, you get the gold plinth, right? And it goes in your dojo, and you get to see the gold thing, but it doesn't like have a visual activation unless you re-win that week. So it has a visual thing that you have a gold statue, but then if you then win the previous week, it then sort of activates in your dojo as well, and it projects and things.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think there should also be something you can click on. You know how there's the...
Oh, and then you can interact with it, and it says how many weeks you've won. Like your win list. There you go.
Yes, you know how you can go into one of the labs and things, and it has like the console, and it says, you know, you put a message of the day, something like that. So it says like, you know, you won this week, or you won the week of the ball.
Oh no, yeah. Last, it should say like current. You are the current victor. Last victory is blur. Total victories: 1 gold, 2 bronzes, 3 silvers, and maybe list like any other.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Can we go to replies?
Yeah, let's go to replies. So. Imagine that Dark Sectors has some kind of combination of clans, alliance competing with only the PvE gameplay. You'd have the regular infested areas that just have better mode / more loot like usual, and you could have clans, alliances own these nodes where they earn percentage copies of loot for each of the thing gotten there. I prefer copy over taxing. Do you notice how we've completely shied away from that sort of the whole tax? It didn't work. It's terrible, and it encourages people. And I like the way that we've encouraged gameplay to be the way you win, instead of like just how it was before, that just to click, oh yeah, it's 2 people fighting, then they could just exchange.
It's not just that, but like
in our way, everyone can compete. The thing is active.
I don't like the owning the nodes.
Yes. Oh well, no, yeah.
I'm really against the owning the nodes.
Yeah.
You know, that was a huge, like,
I get in ours, you cosmetically
so far away.
In ours, you cosmetically win the nodes, but you're not owning them like a Kuvalich or anything else.
Yeah.
The other one is, I'm imagining a raid where there's some kind of machine learning or something going on, and each time it's completed successfully, the ownership of the node changes. And then the raid gets harder. This could result in some seriously weird puzzling and downright harder end gameplay content for players, with the rewards that scale with the difficulty. Harder to win, more likely to be longer before someone else gets it. No. It sounds cool, but I'm going to put my mind back into how this was gamed before. We have to prevent gaming of the system. And this means people can win it the most when they get to that nth point, and then they might have it forever. Because they gamed it to that point. You know, you get competing guilds just exchanging it, and then as long as one of them wins it, and they just keep trying whatever build, and you know, it'll just. You have to not prevent a barrier from entry and barrier to reward. Like my one, like the one we've just put together. It's week as a new week. Anyone can do the mission. Anyone can try and get as hard a score they want. Then they win it, and they just get a cosmetic victory. It's like bragging rights. Bam, we won it this week. If maybe they want to put some sort of thing in later, very carefully edge that in. But our thing would be the gameplay first, the competition first, not the reward, not the you've won this and it's yours now forever. You know, because that's the 2 things the system did before. It trapped resources were forever being obtained by only a few people, and that the barrier to entry was trapped between the people doing it. And those are the 2 things you cannot have in the new one.
I get entirely where you're coming from. The biggest problem for me, actually, can you guess what the biggest problem in that statement is for me?
Mine or theirs?
No, from theirs, not yours. Yours was fine.
Machine learning.
Machine learning.
Yeah. What would that even mean for a boss? Would the boss learn to do new abilities? I mean, don't get me wrong, AI can do amazing, crazy things you never thought of, but how is that going to work for this?
But it's just like, so there's, this is going back a few years now. I've made reference to it a few times now. There's this AI called Ma.io, right? And it's, Mario, and it's a neural network that, that's what machine learning is, right? That is designed to get Mario from start to the finish of a level. And it managed to do the first level of Mario. I think it was the first one or second Mario games. No, I think it was the first Mario game. After, I don't know how many generations. I think it was like 16 generations of attempts, right? Yeah, that's really cool. It was only 16 attempts. But the problem is that the AI never learned that it could jump on the Koopas.
The
AI never learned it could go left. Right?
Right. It's interesting.
The AI never learned.
Go. What else did it learn?
Well, no, there was another one. I've completely forgotten it now.
Right, because I'll show you a different AI example, which I was watching yesterday about that, again, a computer thing where it was two teams of mobs, all AI, right? Team A were the hunters, and they would be frozen for 5 seconds, and then Team B were the defenders. Their goal was never to be seen by these things, the other two, right? So after 5 seconds, they activate. And in the area, there was objects they could pull and move around, and eventually they learned to block off the exits with these boxes. But the AI eventually could learn to do random things, because so you're saying that sometimes that they don't learn how to do things, and eventually the boss might not learn how to do something, but also they can do things which are completely out of intention.
The problem is the boss wouldn't learn how to do something if the boss won.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that generation is considered a success.
Yes.
And that generation will move forward.
Well,
right?
You could have it assess, because there'd be loads of players doing it, the lower times would be successes, and it would put a cut off. Like, it would cut off, it would get all the ones it's done in a day or a week, and it cuts off the bottom 50% as failures. And so you could make it learn to do different things.
No. My point is that as soon as it works out how to defeat someone, right, then it will always defeat someone.
You change its success grade. That it's not defeat is the goal. It's defeat in shortest time becomes win. That you can do that.
But then it just becomes stupid again.
It would for a while, yeah.
But
that's how these work. That's the other thing people don't realize. Yeah, in fact, the example I gave at first, the things just vibrated and failed for like so many generations. They just like, ah! But my point was actually that I want to say is that eventually the hunters figured out that they could do weird things with bricks by launching themselves off the environment, standing on top of the bricks that could be moved, and then they couldn't be stopped. And another time they'd ramp themselves off of, because nobody put the physics in to stop them, they'd ramp themselves off weird parts of the terrain to get into the other areas. I'll show you the video, it looks hilarious. And that's what happened to this boss. This boss would probably figure out that it can shoot outside the map and kill everyone. It would do something weird like that. And then once it's realized that while it's waiting its boss zone, if it shoots outside the map at this point, the missiles will despawn and appear at the spawn and kill the enemies. It'll just do that instantly every time because it wins in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what's what happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you know what I mean by a sine and cosine wave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what a tan wave looks like?
Oh, no, I don't remember what tan wave looks like.
Right. So when it gets to 90, it goes to infinity. Like, it never gets, right? And then as soon as it hits like 91 degrees, it then goes to negative infinity.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then so it gets to 180 and then it's 0. And then 270 is back to infinity. And it's just like, this is how this AI is going to work. It's going to become utterly impossible.
Yep.
And then, oh, wait, no, it's winning too much. Kill it. And it's utterly brain dead until it becomes utterly impossible again.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what will happen. Yeah, it'll be points where it'll just sort of, people enter the environment and it'll just sort of vibrate and not do anything. And eventually it'll just go, oh, Snipe them all to death in 1 second. That's it. Like, snipe, snipe, snipe. Nope, I killed all the good guys. Oh, sorry, all the Tenno. I've won. Yeah, and then I'll just do that every time.
I love the enthusiasm. That would not work. That would so not work. Right. I think we're done for this.
Not yet, anyway. Yeah. So that's the end of this topic.
Yep. So now we're going to go into topic 2. Would anyone? Huh?
There's topic 2. Sorry. Push topic 2. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Would anyone else dig a survival horror spin-off that puts us in the shoes of a corpus crewman? Right. So I'm going to quickly nab the time. 41. Good enough. Right. And cool. So the original post says, imagine you're a regular John, forced to serve as security detail on a capital ship, doing your best to resist corpus indoctrination. Wait, what? Really? What? Okay.
Why would you? You wouldn't care. You would. That's the point of indoctrination. Is you wouldn't even know it's there by that point. You think they'd let you on a ship before you haven't been indoctrinated?
Yeah, that was the confusion. Sorry, let's continue. All you want is your freedom and to escape the mountain of debt that has heaped on your shoulders. Finally, something snaps. Today, you defect. Your ship is close enough to Venus, and you've heard whispers of a sanctuary in Fortuna. You've planned out your route to the escape pods, but something goes wrong. The Grenier dreadnought punches in. Boarding parties tear into the hull. You're called to action by your superior. But you can only fight for as long as it gets you closer to the escape pods. You know that as soon as you take your chance, your defection will be revealed, and then you'll be at odds with your fellow crewmen and the Grenier. But you press on, and just as you begin to hope, that's when that specific alarm rings. Your stomach sinks. Tenno has infiltrated the ship. Right.
I like the idea of playing in the role of a grunt for the different factions. However, apart from that, I don't like the rest of the story. First of all, I'm pretty sure, like, the majority of Corpus crewmen are not in debt. That's why they're crewmen. Like, I know that it's a bit... Okay, they haven't been proven or whatever, but I'm pretty sure the way that it generally works is most people aren't in debt. The people in Fortuna are specifically there because they're in debt. They are being forced to work as a slave force on one of the most harshest planets they have. If you remember from the past, there used to be the commentator on the audio thing about handrails are provided. The Corpus are not evil people in relation to their rank and file people, the majority of the people in their thing. It's only there's specific people who are the debtors. But I'm pretty sure when they say like investors and things, the crewmen are well trained, well geared. You know, their lives are cared for. That's why the Corpus even use proxies. If the Corpus didn't care about them, they would, like the Grenier, chuck them at the enemy. That's the difference with the Corpus, is that they actually do care about their people, because those are the investors. Economies don't work if only like 3 people have all the money, like, or just the board, no one else. No, the money has to go up and down all over the place. You want people to invest here, invest there, spend there, do this. It has to keep spinning. So not everyone is in debt in the Corpus, especially, in debt. Especially the crewmen and engineers. They got jobs. They're on ships. They're well geared. Compare the Corpus gear, as in like that a crewman has, with the helmet, the optics, the weapon, is probably really expensive. That's they've achieved that. Whereas the people, if you look at the people in Fortuna, they like have a hammer. That's all they've got. They don't have a suit. They've in fact to lose their body because it's been sold to other people. So that I don't like about it. The concept of playing as a Corpus or whatever I like, but I just want to point out I don't like that about this story. Ugh.
So my understanding is the Corpus aren't entirely compos mentis. They aren't fully aware of what's going on because they're being paid like pittance. I mean, before they weren't paid at all.
The Corpus.
I mean, that was the Corpus.
I don't think they're being paid a pittance at all.
Sorry. when it was the Orokin era, they weren't paid anything.
Yes, they
right?
were. The whole corpus group, or whatever, were probably indentured servitude or whatever.
Yeah, but my understanding is that the reason why the corpus don't flee at the first sign of a Tenno was due to the fact that they'd like drugged up and things. Xale's the one that would really know this.
What, you mean in Orokin times or today?
No, God, no, I don't think. Was it Orokin times? Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm mixing the two together. Maybe I'm thinking the reason why they weren't rebellious against the Orokin was because they were drugged up to the eyeball.
Sounds right.
And they just worked. I'm uncertain. But again, I remember the old law was that the corpus themselves didn't fight the Tenno. It was the proxies, but that was very quickly cast away. Oh, pardon me. It was cast away because the you see crewmen all the time, you know. So I'm not entirely sure. I do love this idea.
No, but you never see.
never
seen just quote crewmen by themselves sent en masse. They're always supported by proxies. And look at those proxies. You've got ospreys. What does an osprey do? It provides shields to nearby units. It's supporting its units. It's meaning they'll stay alive longer. Even if they're just fighting Grineer, they will fight Grineer better. You know. And then you've got other like mowers. The way they work. You know, some of them block. You've got the riot mower they could hide behind or whatever, and you've got the ones that stomping enemies down. It's all so that the less people are sent out. The worth of a life is worth more.
Yeah.
They're not worth nothing.
Yeah, so I do like this idea, but again, I think both of us are on the same page that then they shouldn't be in debt.
Also, the last point here at the end here, when your stomach sinks, a Tenno's infiltrated the ship. If you chuck your weapon down, most Tenno aren't going to attack you.
One would hope.
One would hope. I mean, I know there's the Grineer. You mean there's the Grineer laborers. Like, there's no advantage to shooting them. Most people probably don't. You know, imagine if you threw your weapon down and cowered in a corner, a Tenno is probably not. Well, Warframe is not going to come and kill you. Yeah, more than likely. Or hide in the toilets. We never find where the toilets are. Don't find those toilets on those corporate ships. Hide the toilet. Warframe no find you.
It's this is really difficult because basically, I without the here he goes trying to sound like a big guy. The ludonarrative dissidence, like it wouldn't make sense because you never see the corpus do what this is proposing, like hiding, right? So unless you really put this spin-off idea on its head and go, so okay, imagine Alien Isolation, except the alien is the warframe, and we're just constantly throwing dudes at the warframe, but you have to sneak off. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I as a gamer, like the one thing I think they should do with this, and I think it would be really cool for them to add into Conclave as an event they could bring back continuously, is you play as a corpus and you play versus Grineer. Because you remove it just, I think it would give players a grounding within Warframe, and it would be interesting to turf the example because you couldn't bullet jump, you couldn't do all these things, but you get one would have shields that regenerate, one just has higher health, whatever. Might not be balanced, it can play around, and some game modes, you can unlock stuff, whatever. But it would be an interesting PvP test. But then as a PvE thing, problem is like most of the environments don't, you said like Alien Isolation, like if you're going to add this into the game, you couldn't really say, and they add all these hidey holes and things. Maybe you could say you could hide in cabinets or something if you really wanted to, but you couldn't go too far. You can't redesign the maps for this little game mode. You have to work on what's there existing. Most map tiles don't have places to hide. How would you hide? You just had line of sight? I don't get how that would work. Because I like the idea of this because there was I don't know if you ever played it. Do you know the Division? Yeah, the first Division.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the survival game mode that they added?
Oh,
the PvP survival. Right, you know of it though, right?
Yeah.
So what that did is it took the existing city, redeveloped it so that, you know, there's all the NPCs and whatever using existing stuff, and then put it that the objective was different. You didn't keep your gear. Everyone started in the same place on the edge of the city. You had to find clothes to make you be able to survive the cold winter. And your goal was to get into the dark zone, get a sample or whatever, so because you were dying of a disease or whatever. You had to get a sample to cure yourself, and then call in a helicopter to get yourself out. And the first person to do that wins. But it's taking all the things the game already has already. The map, the enemies, the mechanics of equipment, and then it just repurposes them into a different way. I have heard people mention, I think, in dev streams asking about, can we play as a greener or whatever. And I think Scott always gives an answer of like, oh, those models aren't rigged correctly or whatever. And I can only understand that he doesn't understand that people don't want it to bullet jump or whatever. They don't want it to wall run. They just want to walk around, which I'm sure it can do because the model can do that. Shoot, the model can do that. Maybe looking up might be a bit like, that's fine. No, and then just a basic jump animation of just could do it. That's all they have to do. Just add, because I don't have a jump animation.
As far as I understand, it's not the bullet jumping. It's more than just looking up. It's also the whole being able to track the body to the mouse.
Ah, okay.
So it's things like that. They're not rigged to accommodate the level of detail and perspective.
I'm pretty sure it can be done as I wave around a re-rigged model into point-to-point movement.
But I do think it would need to be re-rigged, right? I think it could be done, but I think it couldn't be done for everything in one go. So like, you know, doing some, I can't imagine it'd be too difficult to take, here's a Grineer Lancer, right? Now let's apply the same thing to a Bombard, right? That
yeah. Right? And I agree.
But then you also have to think the heavy gunners, does that work as well? So on and so forth.
Yeah, but to keep it small, start with literally just a crewman and a basic Grineer Lancer. Yeah. Start with that, keep it small, keep it simple. Get those two done. So do stuff with them.
So I like this. I like this idea. I think it should be.
See, okay. How about? I mean, if they wanted to rework this, the thing about getting to Fortuna, then you should play a. Like I was saying, what Division did, they reused their existing asset of the city and do it differently. Do it with the open world. Do it with Orvalis. And that you start in one corner of Valis and you have to go a certain route around Valis with your basic gear. And that there's you know, obviously if you go certain ways, you just get caught out immediately. You have to do little side objectives at different bases to lower the suspicion level. You know, that's how you do it. You've already got the map. You could just, you need to rig a model, and then you just have to give like little tests and things to do, which could be hacking terminals, moving objects. Job done. That would be really interesting. A cool game mode.
To me,
make a time attack.
I would make this very. Oh gosh, what's the name of the damn thing? Like Half-Life, like very first-person shooter. you can get different weapons and things because there's no need for them to just have a specific. Oh, I have this one gun and this one gun only.
Can't do first-person, by the way.
Why can't you do first-person?
Because the game engine is not set up to do that. That's effort.
No, but the game engine is not. Effort. No, I mean this is a spin-off game. Put more effort into it.
Oh, you see, to me, when they say they want this as a spin-off, I imagine like a game, like the Division did, a game mode within the game, which is that game mode is almost a game in itself. That's how, because that could be done. I mean, to do this as a complete other game, that would just be. I like the idea of what they might be able to do. They'd never make a complete separate crewman simulator.
Right. Never. Okay. So if that's the case, then I can't see how a survival horror spin-off would work without like really tying your hands behind your back. Like you say, it would have to be in Fortuna.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant about like existing tiles. Yeah. Oh god, you imagine like Alien Isolation. I mean, this could be cool.
No, I wasn't thinking like 100% Alien Isolation. I was also thinking things like, you know, oh, let's just put them on like, oh, their ship gets infested. Right, and then they have to like escape an infested ship. You know, again, like the whole maybe they have to go attack. Oh god, the plains of Eidolon. Like it's like I get where this person's coming from, but without really heavily reworking the engine, I don't think a survival horror game could be nearly as effective.
Oh,
Does that
yeah.
make sense?
No, yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah. If you were, if the sky's the limit and we can repurpose the game, yeah, I get you with the first person thing. We could change the weapons and things. We'd even have them like picking up tools and things, or like corpus things like weld doors shut and things, or hacking terminals and hacking things and whatever. Yeah, but first person shooter, yeah, that would probably work well. Yeah, you make it a VR game, but I'm sorry, my brain was in like what might even be possibly achievable, and I would add it into Warframe rather than make a completely separate game.
Because if we could do the whole separate game, I would love to have things where you're in the Corpus dropships, right? You get teleported down with a Corpus beacon, right? You're able to use the teleport beacon. So you put down a teleport beacon and more of your allies and things teleport down. Stuff like that. But the way the game engine is now, like, sorry, another thing, like, let us get in the one wheels. The unicycles. But right now,
that'd be a cool thing to do. Well, no, it could, because they showed the vehicle system would work, so they just make that the vehicle. But you can have that in my idea with like on the Valis, as you play as a Corpus crewman. You could have that you play as, you can get in the vehicles and things, the wheels. Yeah, that'd be cool. Because they did show that vehicle system, which was working. Go change the vehicle. That'd be cool. But as a sorry, I didn't realize they wanted a full separate game. Yeah, that'd be nice, but I can dream.
I saw spin-off and it just made me think separate game.
Yeah, for me, mine was spin-off game mode, not spin-off game. Okay, that'd be nice, but I'd love, if we're talking about other spin-offs, I'd love a turn-based RPG. I'd love a puzzle game. I'd love a murder mystery game like we got for the Nightwave, but a full game of it. I'd love a farming simulator for the Osterons. It's like, no, that's gonna happen, you know.
Just trying to think. Yeah, should we go straight to the replies? I don't know if there's much else to. Yeah, okay.
Replies. I think people have other ideas. You're a citizen being transferred to an internment camp when suddenly your cell unlocks. From there, the player has to avoid/fight the infested until they find a sterile escape vessel. You'd find Corpus suits as upgrades. Citizen can only run and hide. Crewman suit, access to Prova, and unlocks access to Corpus range weapons. Ranger, mobility upgrade for the crewman suit. These are jetpack Corpus for your information. Yep. Eximus, final suit, added survivability. Oh no, you could have more in there. You could have like drone controllers and things, you know, so you can control proxies and different things, and you can choose which ones you want and level them up. It'd be really cool. Yeah.
I feel that there also has to be a real appreciation for, you're not going to be able to pull off nearly as much as a Corpus crewman as you could with a Warframe. Right? I feel that this is something like, you know, access to a Prova, that's not enough to fight the infested. You don't want to touch the
Corpus
infested.
And unlocks access to Corpus range weapons.
Yeah, but like, you know, the freaking infested, they come anywhere near you and you're like in massive trouble.
You know, they've never really stated how infectious the infested are. I love that they could make them so dark and so grim, and yet they're kind of nice and tepid, really. What is the risk of being infected? Like, we had an Outriders as a game. Like, literally, you just breathe in the atmosphere near this bloody forest, and you are just infected within about 10 seconds. You've got gunk comes out your nose. Whereas, like, the infested, it's like, Grenier happily fight them every day. Yeah, just shoot them with them guns.
Yeah, but I think that Grenier are just flat out stupid.
I don't know. They never. I think it's more. They haven't really shown that you can get infected by the infested by breathing in spores or anything. They haven't really shown that level of infection. There's been more.
I was thinking like it bite you.
Yeah, it's more like zombie style.
So, like, you know, you got to keep it away. Actually, that's something I think would work really, really well as a spin-off, is more along the lines of Left 4 Dead.
Yes, a Left 4 Dead style thing where you play as Corpus and Grenier would be brilliant. Also, an RTS would be really good, like Corpus, Grenier, and Infested. Be very Starcraft.
Yeah, Craft. Yeah, I think it would also have like great potential. Well, to be honest, though, I think I'd rather go down the Warcraft route or. Well, Warcraft 3, where you had the hero characters and things. You didn't really have that in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, well,
but not in the
multiplayer maps. Yeah. The system was there, but they didn't use it for the multiplayer.
But no, I'm pretty sure there was no leveling component, which was a really big part of the Warcraft 3 one, wasn't it?
I think
StarCraft 2 had.
I think it actually is in the game engine for StarCraft 2 if you wanted to, because so that they wanted
not actually used.
It's not used in the actual game, but I'm pretty sure all that stuff is there because if you want to make a custom game, they didn't want to. They wanted you to stop using Warcraft 3 as your custom game maker, and they wanted StarCraft 2.
Yeah, but I think one of the great things is if they do like here's an RTS or something like that, it would give them the opportunity to take those components and put them back into regular Warframe. Oh, look, we've created these new enemy units and so on and so forth.
We've made these Grenier buildings, ship them back in. Oh, we've made this air unit, ship them all back in.
Yep.
That would be cool. Right, next one. Surely a Crash Bandicoot, Temple Run, etc. style game would be more fitting. Running down a hallway, trying to dodge everything coming at you, all the while a hyperactive psychotic space nutjob is pinging off every wall and ceiling and surface trying to catch you, so they can brutally dismember you, then gallop on your corpse. I guess, yeah, you just die every time you fail. Just like running through hallways. It'd be a fun little app game.
But I was not a giant fan of the Crash Bandicoot games at all.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is horror would be instead of a Grenier dread punching you in, your ship gets a new strain of infestation. Now you're suddenly in dead space. Now that's horror. Yeah, they really need to sell the body horror part of infestation a lot more. Infested is just so cute and cuddly. That's scary.
Well, I mean, they don't pose a threat to the Warframes, but that's the point. Like, I really feel that the infested could be like, you don't want the infestation coming anywhere near you. Get a freaking, I don't know, corpus equivalent of an Ignis and burn that crap. So the Myconians, right?
What?
The fact that they have those giant doors, the Myconians.
I love the bit with the doors. Yeah.
You could actually have a giant, like a capsule ship. You're a crewman on the capsule ship, and they just turn around and say, like, oh shit, the infestation's breached X. We need to close the giant doors at this point to prevent it from getting any further.
Yeah.
Or again, you could separate the ship. It's like, oh, we got to breach the bulkheads at this point in order to separate the ship, so to minimize chance of infestation.
Yeah.
I would just love stuff like that. But the problem is that I think a lot of people would think, oh yeah, trollololol, we murder everything. No, if you want the horror component, you can't have the murderization of everything.
Yeah.
You want the bare minimum survival.
I love the original Warframe concept where you are not a god made of modded slabs of metal flinging death energy everywhere. Huh? I love the original Warframe concept where you are not a god made of modded slabs of metal flinging death energy everywhere. Don't get me wrong, I love the game, but it feels as if the fast pace kind of takes away from the ambience it gets to that. The original Warframe was a bit more restrictive. I mean, like things like movement's being given to us to the point that we are just so free now, whereas before you were so limited, so it was a lot more focused and grounded. Now, because you literally can hover and fly in the air with different things, it does feel a little bit more loose. There's a core feeling change there, I'll give you that, but yeah.
I don't know what they're referring to here with the original Warframe, because to me it could be the early days of Warframe, or it could be that legendary, this is the tech demo of the Warframe.
Yeah, and the 2000, the old, yeah.
With like, it's in space, you've got Hayden Tenno versus a Jackal.
Yeah, Jackal, original Jackal.
Which was supported by Grenier. And the thing was, he was hanging off surfaces like Metal Gear Solid style.
Yeah.
Right? I am honestly 100% behind what this person is saying, with the fact that the fast-paced nature of Warframe today has really broken that.
Like in that, it's like, oh no, there's a Grenier squad of 3 Grenier looking for him, and it was a bit of a threat. He had to use abilities to deal with them. Whereas now, like, what? 3 Grenier? What a joke.
Sorry, I'll just walk over them with my necromancer. But yeah, that's. I really feel that the immersion is broken, and it really needs to change the pace. That's why. Oh god, there's an infested charger running at me as a Corpus crewman. Get out the minigun. You need to make sure that thing is dead now.
Next,
anyway.
I'm already hooked I'm already hooked. Original post. Being a crewman is pain. I've also always felt that Grineer vs. Corpus is better suited to PvP than Conclave could ever be, and Frame Fighter should get Conclave rewards, more attention in general. Never, ever, ever. Well, never, ever.
Well, I don't think Frame Fighter would get. So Frame Fighter should get Conclave. Why are people so obsessed with rewards?
The thing is that but okay, well, take what they're saying, but then change it to what they actually want, which is like for Conclave or Frame Fighter, if there was some sort of a weekly resetting league, it'd be better. Bragging rights, that's what you want.
No, but like the first sentence doesn't seem to have anything to do with, oh yeah, Frame Fighter, Conclave rewards, more attention.
The first bit is, they already like the idea, being Criminal's Pain. I've also felt that a Grineer vs. Corpus is better suited to PvP than Conclave could ever be. And I agree with them. Like, it would be much better because it would be balanced sides.
Well, one would hope.
Yeah. Last reply. Make me think, what if players could invade other players' missions as a special Eximus Grineer or Corpus unit? Killing the invader respawns the invader, adds another unit until the mission is complete. Well, they've got the whole secret stalker game thing.
That's the only way I think it could work.
Yeah.
Like an asymmetrical PvP system, it needs to have that power level.
I can't remember.
Not someone.
I can't remember what it was. I was watching something explaining that they were talking to the devs of. Do you remember Evolve?
Oh god.
Apparently, that was one of the reasons why is because they spent so long trying to balance it, and it was impossible to balance. Impossible.
Yeah.
Asymmetrical PvP is so hard to do.
I think that's one of the reasons why. Oh god, what was the name of the game? The Predator Hunting Grounds, I want to say. The most recent one. It's just so difficult because like it's as soon as one side starts to gain an advantage, that's it. It's pretty much they've won. Yeah, and there's no like flip flopping around or anything like this. There's no way to rebalance things without making it unfair. It's what are you doing?
Playing with my front plate.
Right, okay, but yeah, it's
basically there's a USB port on the front of my helmet, and you can get a cooling unit that goes in there. And I wonder if I need it or not because I'm wearing this for so long.
Right, no, you need to be super powerful in order to do it. I wonder. You raised a valid point there. Is the whole reason why the stalker mode has never been implemented is because it is just impossible to balance?
It would be very impossible to balance. And to be fair, that's why they keep. Would it be an opt-in system? Would it be something you or didn't unlock? If you just release it on the player base, and they're like, hey, I'm just trying to do my missions. You made me fail my mission because you spawned into my mission I didn't want to, and I was trying to just get on with my game. It's really annoying. So you have to make it that like there's a special node on the map where people go do it, and they know that they might get a stalker in their missions. So it's just a fun kind of side thing with no goal or rewards. That's the only way to do it. Because if you implement it on the normal solar system, which is how it would be like, oh no, stalkers joined. Oh look, they killed us all. Right, well, that was our last revive. That's really annoying. Bad gameplay experience.
What do you mean last revive?
Let's say they were down to their last revive. They've been doing some people have been doing a defense mission. They're trying to make it to wave 20. They're on wave 19. Everyone's down to their last revive. They've got no revives left, let's say. And then the stalker decides to pop into that mission because random RNG said, yeah, there you go, have a stalker. Then they kill it. Failed mission. Bad gameplay experience. That's why it's not really implemented much.
Yeah, I think because everyone wants to win.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't feel good to lose, and there's too many paths to an unsuccessful experience. Yeah, no, I never really thought about it until you highlighted it just now. I don't think that asymmetrical PvP systems really work. They're cool on paper, but it's really difficult.
Yep. Right, well, that's it for the topic. I think it's a cool idea. Like I think we should obviously it's debate. I'd love to be able to play as Corpus or Grineer doing things, or even Infested. I think there's a lot to it, but obviously, work needs to be done, and I think it should be done within the game, not as a separate game. Because never. Yep.
Right. Oh, right. You mean on the okay, cool. Right. Right. Yeah, we're done. Cool. Moving on to. No, I didn't. Right. Okay. Moving on to. Whoa, Loz. Whoa. Getting ahead of yourself there.
What do we move on to then?
Wait, haven't they? That hasn't updated. Why hasn't that updated? Pause. Awesome. Right, we've got the graph right. Okay, so our first graph for today is are your weapon loadouts counterbalanced for strategy or made to maximize DPS? So this was going back off the whole nullifier thing. Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Counterbalance strategy, other made to maximize DPS. Oh, I think. Oh no, I get you. Do you take a machine pistol basically so that you fires over your sniper rifle and primary?
Yeah. Right. So there was a lot of odd responses. Some of them were about fashion, aesthetic. Some of them said, "I do both." I'm like, it doesn't imply, but okay. So, well, you're either focusing one or you're focusing the other. But that's why there's another column. So 20% said other, 30% said made to maximize DPS, and 50% said counterbalanced the strategy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, cool. The next graph, right? So there's two parts to this graph, and I did actually go and get some numbers. So which is the best worst enemy, right? So there was a limit. I didn't want to make everything available because we don't have enough of a audience that actually responds to. You get my point, right?
Yeah.
So the options I put in here were the ancient disruptors, nullifiers, obviously, the tendril, the little star thing that lashes onto you in Deimos, Nox, and scorpions. Right. I asked on Discord. These are the ones that came up. I think there were a few more suggestions, but they were too niche, too specific. So 5% said Nox. 14% said ancient disruptors and scorpions. 33% said nullifiers and the Deimos tendril drones. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Move on to the next one. And I asked, would you like to see this enemy removed? Right? 19% said yes, and 81% said no. And I did some little looking up. I didn't see that it warranted a graph to see which enemies fell under the yes. Right? Nox, 100% don't remove. Ancient disruptors, 100% don't remove. Scorpions, 33% said remove. Nullifiers, 100% said don't remove.
Hey!
And the Deimos tendril drone, 43% said remove.
Okay, interesting. I'm happy with them. Right, next.
The nullifiers one really surprised
I was like, oh
me.
yeah, this is where everyone's like, you remove nullifiers. Like,
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't expect it to be 100%, but the fact... Sorry,
I expect that to be the most.
Yes,
the most, yeah.
But the fact that it was 100% no, I was just like, wow, right?
Faith in humanity restored.
Or at least our community. Right. Next one. Would you like a larger crew roster that Xeno suggests? 11% said no, 89% said yes. Cool.
That was the concept from last week, wasn't it, that you suggested, yeah?
Yeah, so like the whole teams thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right. And then the last one, do you say... Oh, God, I got that wrong. Sorry. The actual graph should say, what follower mission durations would you like to find... Sorry. What follower mission durations would you find acceptable?
Right, okay.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I had to fiddle with the data on this one to get it to work.
I don't think you want to read out all this, because there's no real need, because you're going to get lost in numbers reading all this stuff out.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. The biggest and the lowest.
So the biggest was 7 to 11 hours. and the lowest was more than 47 hours.
Well, so interesting, the top 3, up to 2, between 5 and 7, and 7 and 11. So I think people like the idea of short missions, so you can set it for 2 hours, come back, something you can do in the day. But then also they don't mind the sort of 7 to 11 for sort of the longer missions.
There's also 2 to 5.
2 to 5 also okay, yeah.
2 to 5, 5 to 7, they're tied.
But then above 11 is where it really starts to dip, isn't it?
It drops quite a lot.
Yeah.
And, surprisingly, 23 to 47, that's also really low. But 17 to 23, that saw a little bit of an uptake.
Yeah, I think because I think people like within. I think this is kind of interesting data because you'd see within the system people are really they like the idea of short missions and sort of medium ones, and I think that uptake is because I don't think people mind 1 or 2 that length mission, which I think 17 to 23 hours. But then beyond that, 2-3 days. I think you just like a week. You know.
Well, I never. I just went up to 2 days, but
yeah.
Right. Okay, and that's it for the graphs.
Cool. Okay, so graphs off. By the way, I have to turn on OVR before Nox. That it works fine.
Right.
That's the issue. So, but if I turn Nox on first, OVR is like, fine then, I won't let you use that as a swipe and a touch screen. I was like, what is this? Okay. So, Zrugel. Before I start the supporter questions, I would just like to ask our lovely audience to smash that like button and comment down below. I promise we read each and every comment. Okay. Have you tried Microsoft Edge since the new update?
No.
I use Microsoft Edge on a daily basis, so the only update I saw is that you can move the tabs to the side. Is that the update? It's interesting. I'm not sure if it's good, but I like it. I like Edge. Nice these days. It's not. It's discarded the Internet Explorer thing. It's just as good as, in my opinion, as any of the other
Chromium.
ones. Yeah, it's based on. Is it? What isn't Chromium these days though?
Firefox. That's on Mozilla.
There you go. Is it though?
Yes, I promise you it is.
Okay, well, there's that.
It still uses the Mozilla engine.
Okay, there's that. I think everyone else. I know Opera's on Chromium.
So Opera moved to Chromium a long time ago after it suffered from not removing ads. God, what else? But the thing is, there's loads of little like minor niche browsers like Brave and WaterFox and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff that use different engines, and it's just like,
oh my Brave.
God. You?
Yep.
Good.
Brave's good. I like Brave.
I use Opera Gaming.
Yeah, I showed you that, so I really should use that as well. But okay, the only thing I use Opera for is it comes with a built VPN, so I can just use that for things like no. Anyway,
I use it for the mouse gestures.
Okay. Funnel Cloud Cake. With Nightwave giving players something to do in the downtime between grind and new updates, a few players have begun to complain that some of the challenges seem unfair. For example, a long forum thread popped up wanting to remove the Cold Steel challenge from the list, since this challenge is to kill 1,000 enemies on the Steel Path. The thread argues that it's impossible for many players who have not unlocked Steel Path mode or have not reached a high enough level or gear to take it on. Should DE trim these difficult and high-end challenges, or is it optional nature of Nightwave enough that you think they can stay and players can just skip those challenges?
The latter. Like, I'm sorry, if you don't want to... I mean, DE wouldn't have picked that if there wasn't some evidence to prove that people could do it, right?
Yeah, no, I can appreciate there's going to be some poor players, new players who come in who are going... Like, it is a tricky thing that it is for new players. They'll be like, oh, how do I do that? However... For new players, it's always good to have the promise to aspire towards. So you see this and go, oh, I want to do that. My favourite thing, I know we always give stories, but I remember World of Warcraft, the original one 15 years ago when I played it, there was a mod for the maps for the dungeons, and it showed me all the dungeons I hadn't got to yet. And I looked at the maps and looked at the names of the bosses, and it's what made me want to go do them, because I could see them. And so I was actually just thinking earlier in this episode as well, that Warframe does suffer a problem that the player is not made aware of things that you're going to have to do and what things you have to work on. And I think maybe a UI would be good that shows you all the different features you have access to, and they're grayed out at first, so you know when they become available. and click that and it takes you to it. Like focus, like the helmet system, like your Arcwing stuff. Like if there was one page that showed a player all the things that they will get access to, and then they click it and it takes them to that. So it becomes like a here's what you've got to unlock page to look forward to. It lets you know. I think that'd be interesting. And so this thing with the Cold Steel Challenge, it's actually doing a good thing. It's making earlier players be aware. Oh, what's Steel Path? Oh, I've got to kill 1,000 enemies on that. Oh, I'll look it up, or I'll ask someone, and then when they unlock it, like, oh, I remember that. It's that thing I've got to kill people with Nightwave. So I don't think it's that bad.
I mean, hell, if they won, they could just say, oh yeah, we're changing the challenge from killing 1,000 enemies on Steel Path to just spend $5 on our merch store.
Yeah. And, okay, the only thing I would say is that the only improvement I would make is when you finish a week, if you've got any of the previous week from that season that you have available, 3 will appear. Yeah?
Wait, sorry, as in you're proposing this? Or
no,
this already happened?
This is the way the game works.
Already happened.
This is the way the game works, yeah. I would like to see those 3 move to a separate box, sort of, or maybe that when you finish, a separate 10 come up, because the only issue I think is 3 is too few a slot, because when you get to ones which are tricky, you have to engage with them, and so I would like to see it show you up to 10 of previous ones you haven't unlocked, because that way you're not restricted. Because let's say players who can't do this, it doesn't actually even prevent them doing previous weeks, because they can gain 2 slots. But if they go far enough and that 1,000 players come up twice, that locks out 2 of their slots. So I would like to see that. That is my only comment. My
proposition is you have the 10, but you have to activate only 3, up to 3. So you could say,
I'll give you that.
I can't do those. Turn that one off, but turn that one on.
So you can't work on multiple on a go on previous stuff, but you can activate 3 of the 10 at a time to work on. Yeah.
And maybe, they can't. Yeah, no. Just do that. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think that's a better way of doing it. Yeah. So it does limit you on later weeks, but it doesn't let you lose slots, because that's the only thing. I get it when it's like things like Tridolons, and I'm like, or Profit Taken. I'm like, yeah. The other one, last one, is from Fun McCloud Cake again. In a world where you can hear a dull thud behind you, turn to see your fellow grenadier, and only then feel the blade at your own throat. In a world where you can be torn apart by shards of flying glass as a slim figure leaps past. In a world where the temperature suddenly drops so fast that you can feel your own body solid. Which warframe do you think would be the worst to die to? And then it's got a crossed out line here.
Your body freeze like that?
Octavia, all of her instruments blasting out Justin Bieber, pounding it into your skull. Good.
Would you feel your body freeze so rapidly, or would it just happen?
You would feel massive shifts quickly. If it was like, if you sat in a room and I changed the temperature 0.5 degree a minute, you probably wouldn't feel it for a longer time.
Right.
Sudden changes are easier to pick up than, like, a frog in a pot.
Frog in a pot?
Yeah, if you put a frog in a pot and you fill it with water and you slowly raise the temperature really slowly, they will just sit in boiling water till they die.
Wow.
Yeah, whereas if you just pop them in boiling water, like, boiling water!
Right.
Lobsters, I think, are the same as well. Or crabs. I think it's frog in a pot, frog. If you raise the temperature slowly, they won't realise that it'll kill them.
Wow. What's the worst warframe to die to?
Nidus. Benairos. Sevelgoth. Necros, because he brings you back.
I kind of like the idea of Nidus, though, because like your body just gets contorted into the lava and just like yeah.
Chest burst. Yeah, that's it for the community questions for the week.
Okay. Supporter questions, community responses now.
What did I say? Community questions. Damn it! At least I didn't say Patreon. That was my goal. Even my goal failed on. What was I supposed to say? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Evans, no timestamp. I volunteered to replace Xeno with improv lines next time this happens. Side note, Xeno is always wrong. Sorry, is wrong about Power Rangers, proving once again Xeno is wrong.
I wasn't wrong about Power Rangers, shut up.
Brian Hunter, in regards to player interaction with enemies, in Outriders, wait! Away from you. No.
Huh?
And in Outriders.
No, I just heard like.
So, in regards to player interactions with enemies, in Outriders.
Yep. Yay.
Small enemies flinch when you shoot them, allowing you to stagger hordes running in or stop shooters from shooting you. Big enemies have dynamic movement when approaching the player, making their weak points harder to hit, lowering the player DPS until the enemy is danger close to the player. But higher damage, like in Warframe, negates the need for such mechanics. Yeah, I would say that Warframe just doesn't do anything.
I mean, Loz and I have played quite a lot of Outriders this last week. Joys of not having any, having the week off. But I get what you're saying with the whole flinching thing, but the bullet spongy nature of the enemies can be quite frustrating. Bad, you know, it's so Loz and I wouldn't say it's so we're at what, world tier 9?
Yeah, out of 15.
Right. Huh?
Out of 15.
Out of 15. So we're on world tier 9 out of 15. And I wouldn't say this is as bad as how Destiny 1 was doing it. Destiny 1.
Division 1?
Sorry, yes, apologies. Division 1, where we went to do the Russian embassy and it took us literally like 3 hours because the enemies are just such horrific bullet sponges.
Yeah.
I know that we have this giant thing about murderizing the enemies in Warframe, but I really feel that the interaction should be based on, oh, you have to hit me with this type of weapon or that type of weapon, not
shoot me more, shoot me more, shoot me more,
yeah.
shoot me more, baby, shoot me more, shoot me more, shoot me more.
Because like, okay, I mean, like, seriously, how often do the enemies in Warframe make you want to stop and hide behind a barricade?
Well, they used to, but then we got to bullet jump.
Yeah. Right, next one.
Right, okay, a couple of I'm not shying away from them, so I've got some some bit of negative ones from a couple of people. So not against us, but just in general. Benjamin's marriage, meant that I don't really play the game much, as I'm not finding it fun anymore. I play around in the Orbiter as I like looking at the game, and I'm minorly addicted to Warframe. So yeah, just that, you know. Gyro Blood, I really tried, but after 29 minutes, I can't handle Warframe talk anymore. Only login rewards and easy nightmare acts. If they put content and finishing it instead of releasing new unfinished content now and then, it'll be another topic. Years of unfinished content, and when they come back to old content to make it great again, I don't have the will to try it.
I actually tend to agree. I've barely done anything with
the Railjack.
The new Railjack because, oh, look. New Railjack, I mean, yeah, I get it. They're trying to nail down the whole what the Railjack's experience will be for update 30, and they need the player base to respond to that. But still, like, I've not really engaged with it. I am finding more and more getting people to be on arbiters is becoming more and more difficult. I've spent the majority of this week preparing the group for the arbiters for this week. I went through I don't know how many people before I actually got a full team of 3 people.
Wow.
It's I think a lot of people are losing interest in Warframe, and I get it, you know.
Right, Trex Paddock, first of all, did paste about that they were having issues with the leveling of items. What I suggest you do is it would be really helpful if you took print screens of all that, put it together in a topic, and put it on the Warframe forums. Be addressed, definitely. Because it does sound like you've identified a problem there. It's leveling to do with the harness, I think. It's not being leveled, or in one screen it says it's leveled, and then the next screen it says it isn't. But anyway, P.S. Endgame is a chess term and does not apply at all to Warframe. Now, thank you very much for that, actually, because I'm going to look it up. If that's where it came from and was commonly used, then I think that would be really useful, so I'm going to look that one up. Also, game over.
See, that would make perfect sense, because the end game is like, okay, you've got barely any pieces left.
Yeah.
Right? There are very few options left. You know, you might be coming to the end of the move
that match
limit, and
yeah.
think,
that match.
Yeah,
and at that point, that game will be over and everything will just reset. So so thank you very much for the check. I will look into that, especially. Also, PPS. Game over originally meant you failed. Back when that is what you always did when you played video games. It was a question of how long you could last before game over.
You're missing part of your comment.
Just saying. Sorry, I didn't push.
Saying.
Just needed to push enter because sometimes it doesn't give me the It slides off the edge of my screen.
Right.
Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, that's a good point. I meant like Atari games. It'd be that the goal was just to score points, and you would go into the game, do what it said to score points, and eventually there was no finish state. It was just when you died enough or timer ran out, and game over. Cool. How it used to be. So yeah, game over is another weird term. JJ24. We need an anti-melee mob first. No mobs discourage melee play. In fact, they encourage it. Shield Grenier extend their melee hurt box to their shield. Melee hits on the shield will kill the enemies. The more anti-gun, anti-power enemies we have will push the melee meta even more. Fair enough. Yeah, it'd be interesting. An anti-melee mob.
No, I completely agree.
Even if it's you could add something that's like very slow moving, but if you go near it, you want to stay away from it. There's no mob light. I suppose nullifiers in some way do have that effect, you see. So maybe something more. Anyway, Loz is making Revelite sound like flex tape. That's because it is in liquefied form. I've come away from the screen. Lastly, would you like a larger crew roster that Xeno suggests? No. A new player won't know this system exists, and the player who knows about it will have many methods to farm every resource 10 times over. 10 times over? I see absolutely no purpose. Sorry, it's gone off my...
You want to pause?
Nope. Done. Right, got it. New player won't exist. I see absolutely no purpose for the follower system. The extractor planet drones are already pointless. There is zero reason to interact with this system unless rewards are on the level of Umbral Former. Wow. Hang on. This sounds a lot like managing a spreadsheet. I don't want to spend more time in menus than playing the game. Right now, Rojak is still extremely buggy. Even the basic things like commanding the AI crew members bugs out and stops working entirely. There are several missions that soft lock and have a few memory leaks that I have been running into. One has existed since Rojak's release and has been reported many times. I completely disagree with sending followers on quests during a mission until all these bugs are ironed out. It's a complete waste of man hours until then.
No, I completely agree with that sentiment that they need to fix Railjack first. But I will say the way you deal with the follower missions is you don't give them resources that you yourself can just get. I mean, like, yeah, World of Warcraft's a perfect example with this, where you get a resource to send your followers on a mission, right? So I have to spend money to make money. So instead of earning £5, I actually earn £1 because I had to spend £4 just sending them to go get the £5. So it's like, what's the point? And I totally get it. I barely interact with the World of Warcraft follower system at all now. Right, I don't think I've logged in since last weekend when Loz, myself, and another friend of ours, did some content because they've turned around and said like, "Oh, we're not sorry, that's a different rant entirely." I do feel that there is potential for room of growth for a system like this, and it's not really for starting players. That's one of the biggest problems Warframe is having right now, is the fact that everything has to be doable immediately. And as a result, players like myself and I want to say Benjamin Smarriage, who was the one that said that they're basically keeping away from the game for now because they can't stand it for more than 29 minutes.
Well, it was Benjamin Smarriage and Gyro Blood.
Right. They say that they're keeping away from the game. Wow, I'm actually really impressed. I actually remember the right person. But I'm the same, right? I touched it last weekend, probably to get some YouTube shorts, but then I haven't touched it since, right? I had Joey literally talk to me last night saying like, when was the last time you logged into Warframe? I looked at Steam and said, apparently a week ago. It's unless the Call of Tempestari is utterly amazing, right?
I hope. I think that's bad to set such high expectations on it. I think it's more going to be like a small quest like Limbo or Mirage, just something small on the side. Whereas I think people are thinking like this is going to be the next, slightly, I mean, seeing some of the memes, building it up to be the next War Within or something. It's really not going to be that.
I get that, but you know what else has been going on?
Yeah. Well, Railjack.
Yeah. Cool, Railjack, yeah.
No, but I know what you mean about the end games. Sorry, for the high level players, because otherwise things just feel like you log in and you can't define a goal. Like a low level player has so much to do. I can level this, finish the star sort, do this thing. For high level players, it's like, yeah, I can. If you haven't, finish Steel Path, because to get it done, where's the thing to unlock, the thing to excite, the challenge to be found?
Here's something.
The thing to experience.
Here's something that I don't know if I've made. Like, I don't think I've made this public knowledge yet. I'm genuinely considering, like, either reducing Arbiters down to 1 episode a month, or just canceling it entirely.
Wow.
Because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
There is no content.
I mean, they used to even just... It's weird, isn't it, that before, even when they just released weapons on a weekly basis, they felt there was more to talk about. You know,
yeah. I can bullshit only so much.
But I just feel that, like, in the past, maybe this is... I know there's COVID. I know they're, for some reason, not going back to the thing till September, and that their development seems to have just really shifted into the lower gears. That's how it seems to be. But it just feels like in the past there was more going on than there is now. I don't know why.
Yeah. We you know, Deimos, I barely touched that. I wasn't interested in going to a new open world. And it's just for the new players again and again and again. You know, and broken record me, where's the new war? That's the thing I give a fuck about.
Where's the thing where's the high level special super dungeon run challenge thing that pushes people? And that's why I'm not using the stupid words, because it's not in game. We need. That's not what we need. Yeah, it's now you've got the tools. We need somewhere to spend it. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the that's it for the comments. Let's move on.
Cool. And I just want to say, the frick, was it JJ24 that had that last point about the followers? Yeah. You know, I do agree with you, but the game seriously needs more.
Yeah. Yes, reasons to log in. And that's anyway, let's move on. Anyway, so moving on to the
memes.
Let's look at the hand.
Cool.
Where's my thing?
Oops.
I've maximized this. That's the problem. Minimize that. Yes. Right. Meme number 1. But my page isn't. Yes, Sparrow is a scammer. Right. Here we are. So this seems to be a this is a TikTok meme to do with, I think it originally started with like football things, but it seems to have expanded everything of, I receive this, you receive this, and it's like bad offer. And there was this one made it popular with like, I receive some weird made up word, you receive nothing, or whatever. But there seems to be loads of these. I just picked this one because it's the most popular. Barrow's a scammer. I receive ancient Orokin relics. You receive some imaginary money you can only use to trade with Barrow. True.
Yep.
Right, moving on.
Not wrong.
Meme number 2. Leaves you feeling vulnerable. Your build after you just put a former into it.
Je ne comprends pas.
Well, it's like half a sandwich. Like you've got your gun, you leveled it to maximum, got all the formers in it. For low mastery rank players, you put the former in it, puts the mastery rank down to 2. That's what happens to your build. Like all the mods drop out. Like half a sandwich. Eating half your sandwich. Your build's gone. Xeno's dead today. Okay, moving on.
No. I'm like, it's what'd you expect?
Meme number 3.
It's just like, I have eaten my sandwich. My sandwich has been eaten.
No, you haven't. No. It's as if someone else has eaten your sandwich.
Sure.
Because you just formed it. Okay. Made this meme to describe my feelings for trade chat. Everyday trading routine. Ribbons, mod parts, prime parts, etc. Trading chat. Nobody interested.
Wow.
Yeah, it's harder when even the memes there to get. Meme number 4. It's always hard.
Oh my god, I did see this one.
It's always hard to picture Mirage with Hall of Mirrors in Captura. Hall of Mirrors in others' point of view? All appears in my point of view. Yep.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
But I also know that the stupid thing where it eclipses other people, so it's annoying. Meme number 5.
Oh god, no! You see through them. You see through.
Yeah, you
them.
see through them, but but it's a circle, so that's why you can see like a couple of limbs and things, because that's things.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this one! I do not know why this is not more upvoted. I did it.
Okay.
I managed to shoot myself in the head.
Damn, I want to do this now.
They are hated by everyone.
Yeah, but that's you know how they did this, right?
Yeah, you knock a couple of them down to negative, and you don't re-upgrade them up. Then you switch to the other ones, but you don't do the upgrade, so you're still in negative stat with them. But still, it's like
that's how Hexus and Suda are 0.
They should put like there should be a special unlocked 7th syndicate for people who do this.
I totally do it then.
Yeah, it shouldn't really give anything. It should just be for clout. And finally, meme number 6. Every single time, I am your reckoning. Oh no! Anyway.
I like this one. This one's good. I can just imagine Jeremy Clarkson is just like, oh no.
Oh no.
Anyway.
Yep,
right.
that is it for the memes of the week. Now we will move along. Community shoutouts of the week. So number 1.
Did you turn off the memes?
I will.
Cool. Right. Number 1 is the hydroxide. Why'd you name it this? Cyandana. I thought this was a really cool Cyandana. I would love to see this in game. The idea of this Cyandana is sort of like it's like a scroll carrying case, as opposed to just like, you know, here's a scarf. I really like the idea of this because, you know, you could do a lot with this.
Whole ninja scroll kind of style thing, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah. So I really like the idea of this, and I really hope this one gets in.
I'd buy that. I like that. I like seeing the non-normal back thing.
Exactly. Especially when it's like a backpack.
Yeah.
You know? Number 2. So we got Harrow and Oberon. Harrow depicted here. Commissioned by Pastel Donkey. Pastel Donkey. So, yeah. So Harrow currently on screen, but there's also an Oberon commission as well.
In the same tweet.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a link in the description if you want to see the rest of the Oberon.
Yep. The 3rd community shout out is Excalibur, Zato, and Operator by Ainsworth.
Ooh. There's an alternative lighter version of it in the link as well. All right.
Yeah.
What? 3? Oh.
3, yep. 4th community shout out is Operator Taya and her infested Rumba by Feral.
Oh.
Yep. The 5th community shout out is Comically Small Frost by Maud of the Wild.
Look at him with the giant sword.
I love this. Like, it's just like the level of detail on the Galatine Prime and then the Frost.
I just love that sort of mass sword.
Yep. And then number 6,
yep.
Limbo Prime with Eyes and Teeth. I didn't take their name down.
Bug Breach at Real Bug Breach.
Thank you, Bug Breach. Bye, Bug Breach.
That's scary. I remember the whole thing that there was a while back when they did Warframes with mouths, and that's interesting.
I really like this one.
Sets of batches of very sharp teeth, very sharp teeth. Very nice. Very detailing is very nice. I don't I'd like to see just a normal one without the teeth, because the rest of the image is also beautiful. So it's brilliant enough on its own, you know. Yeah. All right, that's it.
Cool. Right, so that's it for the community shoutouts. Loz, hit the turn off the community shoutouts. Goodbye. I don't know why I was so patronizing.
Right, and I think that's it for this week. So
for the community shoutouts, that's pretty much it for the episode. So let's move. What?
Outro? Yeah.
You know.
For the outro one.
No.
Oh.
No. Reset.
Yeah?
Quote.
Yeah, but we do that with the outro, don't we?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
We've never done it with the outro.
Oh, okay. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Right. We now know that the void is stranger, far more alive than we had ever imagined. The crew of the Zaraman 10-0 changed the fundamental context in which all of Arakan society understands itself. I don't know what greater measure of success they could have achieved.
Do it again.
We now know that the void is stranger, far more alive than we had ever imagined. The crew of the Zaraman 10-0 changed the fundamental context in which all of Arakan society understands itself. I don't know what greater measure of success they could have achieved. It's a space film from 2013.
You know if I've seen it?
Hell no.
Hell no, I haven't seen it, or hell no,
I
don't know.
We didn't see it in the cinema or anything.
2013.
Yep.
I don't know.
Europa Report. It's about when we send a ship out to Europa and they find weird life living under the water and it attacks the crew and things.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Europa is one of the Jupiter moons.
Yeah, Jupiter, I think. Yeah.
No, Saturn.
Saturn,
because
Jupiter.
It's off of Saturn. It's off. No, Jupiter. It is Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah.
Jupiter.
What was the joke from Rick and Morty? Is like, when you hit 10 moons, Jupiter, it's time to use numbers and not names.
Yeah. Right. Well, that was it for the quote.
That was a good quote. That was a good quote.
It was just a few nouns. The tricky thing trying to find them nouns and verbiage and descriptive words that are usable. Anyway, but that is it. Now I will push the outro button. Yeah.
Good man. Do it.
Wow.
And service unavailable.
So service is what you're saying is service unavailable is no longer your best supporter.
Evidently, yes.
Right, well, yeah, that's it for this week. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see everyone next week, yeah?
Off. Yes.